Good morning! Alright, in this video, we're going to do something a little bit different. This is me drawing and painting an image for one of my book covers. This particular image is for the book, The Horror of the Tazumari Greed Statue. Now, the problem with this book is that there's no such thing as a Tazumari Greed Statue, right? Sounds a little bit like a tribe that should be in the Amazon, right? So that's where it's set, but I don't have a statue for it. So I'm going to have to create it. And what makes this interesting, or what propelled me to do it this way, is that this particular book was a Kindle Vella. And I've spent the last several months editing the book, or at least the old Kindle Vella, into a book. And I am just about done with it, but just about done it's up to interpretation because I don't have a lot of free time anymore. So it's taking me a lot longer to get this Horror of the Tazumari statue, the Greed Statue story done than it normally does. Plus, I had to make the picture, because the picture that I used in the Kindle Vella was AI. And for Kindle Vellas, you could use anything. You could use an AI image, you could use a stock photo, which I did for some of my Kindle Vellas. And I could still use those stock photos for the book covers once I get them to Amazon Kindle, right? The ebooks, Amazon Kindle, and the print books and the audiobooks and stuff like that. But I can't do that with an AI image. The reason is pretty simple. If I use an AI image, I have to say that I used AI in the book. It does not give me the option to say, oh, I only used the AI image on the cover. I have to say that I used AI throughout the whole book, and that is never true. It's never true. At least to date, as of this date, I have never used AI to create a book, like the text inside the book. I do use it I have used it in the past to create covers, but I really disagree with the fact that I have to say that this book, it was created with AI. The whole book, when really all I did was the image. So we don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to do the AI. I don't want to declare that I used AI in the entire book when all I did was use an image. So what we're going to do today is draw or trace out the image that I created onto a canvas, and then I'm going to paint that canvas. So then, once it's painted and done, there's no AI in it. It is totally 100% my image, and you are going to watch me do it right now. So the only thing I really have to say about it right now is that there's no sound in the video because I was watching Garfield while I did the video. So if I need to jump in here and say something else, I will. But let's watch me do this. I guess I should tell you that I have not had any formal art training. I am not a painter. I can only draw rudimentary shapes, and yes, I did use the computer to make this tracing pattern that I've got. So technically I can't draw and I can't paint, and I don't have a degree in graphic arts or anything like that. But here's the deal. I need a book cover for my Horror of the Tazumari Greed Statue fiction book. And I am going to make that cover. You are going to watch me do it. So the only thing I've got here is some paints, a canvas, and the determination to make this book cover. So, really, let's do it for real now. Alright, so I'm going to try and finish this tonight. I think all the yellow is done, maybe. But the green certainly is not. The green is here, here, a little bit here, and here, here. So we need to do some more work with the green. Been working on this for quite a while in my spare time, like I have much spare time these days, but there's a little bit of a problem there. And this big green blob right here needs a little more work. I feel like there was supposed to be one up here too. And I think I already got. Okay, so that is the darkest green. Now I need to get other greens. Pale green. Let's see what else we got. Oh, I've been looking all over for that. I got an extra set of colors. Pale green. What is this? This one's got some more Viridian, but it's also got emerald green. There we go. I knew if I bought enough paints, I'd find the colors I want. Emerald green. That's the color we want. Comes sealed. The first part of this video is me not talking because I had the TV on. My Roku, actually, the remote died. There's no possible way it could be the batteries because they're the newest batteries I've got. So the TV no longer works. I need to figure out what's going on with the TV. It's supposed to be a smart TV. Supposed to be a smart TV. But I think it is one of the, I think it's a stupid smart TV. Alright, now we're going to add a little bit lighter color on the green. Alright, add some more green. And we're going to add some pale green to the emerald green. There it goes. I think that is looking pretty good. I need a really, really light yellow. Maybe a little burnt sienna. And I need a little bit of very, very I think I might be about done. It is done. I think we're going to call that done. That looks pretty creepy to me. And that was the goal. I am going to call that done. Whatever else I need to do to make that a book cover, I'm going to do it on the computer. Alright, so I am going to finish up the So here's the one I painted. Let me see if I can find the original. Wow, so I just literally spent an hour looking for this image right here. This is the original Horror of the Tazumari Greed Statue image. Now, I can't use this because I would have to declare that this image was created with AI. And Amazon does not distinguish between things that were like just the image, just the front cover image was created by AI. I cannot say that. I have to say that the whole book, including the text, was developed with AI if I put this image on the cover. And that's not right. So in order to avoid it altogether, I painted this. This is not half bad, considering I'm not a professional painter. I'm not even a hobbyist. I'm not even a hobbyist painter. I'm like an author that needs a freaking cover image, so I painted one. And since this picture does not exist, I had to get real creative about it. And I sure as hell can't use this one, even though this one's pretty good. So, now we need to turn this into a cover. So that's going to mean doing some cropping. It is not even. I hate that. All right. Oh boy. It looks even, and it's not square. This sucks. All right, we're going to crop it as close as we can. We don't want to lose anything. But that's as close as it can be cropped. And it is crooked. So we're going to have to rotate it until it is square. I think that is square. Oh, it is still not square. How about show grid? Let's see if we can. I don't see the grid. Do you see the grid? I don't see the grid. That doesn't look square either. This still isn't square. This is just going to have to be what it is. Alright, we're going to crop. And we need to look at 100%. I need to resize this. I don't need the grid. I need to resize the image. Oh, this is not going to work. It has to be 300. And it's going to have to be... Well, that's almost right. It has to be 6 by 9. What is it if it's not 6 by 9? 7 inches. I think I can work with that. that, but we're still not ready because a book cover is 6 by 9 inches. 6 by 9, not 6 by 772. So here's the cover template. And here's the horror of the Tazumari Greed Statue that we need to get over there. All right. Does it need any enhancement? I really kind of like it the way it is. Well, let's try that. Oh, it looks terrible. No. That was awful. Oh, that's better. That's the Oilify filter. That's better. That might be something to do later. Oh, I remember this. Nah. Ooh. That's awful. I have no idea what I just did. Alright, so the only thing I really liked was... Oh, it's awful. Alright, never mind. I think it's as good as it's gonna get. So we're gonna copy that. Stop it. Copy. Paste. And I no longer need this. I do not need to save the changes. It's a little better. That's not. You know. All right. Strongly dislike how that was going. I'm gonna have to continue tomorrow. I'm exhausted. All right, folks, it is 2 days later. I said in my previous video it was midnight. I was exhausted. This was Friday. For some reason, I had a lot to do on Friday. And I tried some things with this late at night. The only thing I found that I liked was the Oilify, which I've left. And now I'm trying to put the text on the book cover, and I just hate it. I just hate it. So we're going to try that again. But what I think I need is some sort of border, because otherwise this is going to go edge to edge on the book cover. I think I need a border. Let's see decor. Add a bevel, add a border, round corners. I wonder why those don't work. I have no idea. All right, let's try a bevel. Work on copy, keep bump layer. Let's try. Let's see what this does. It doesn't look like it does much. Let's see what it's doing. I don't think it did anything. I don't see where it did anything. Nope, discard changes. That didn't do anything. Now let's try it. I noticed there was a extra set of lines, so it was, I think the last thing I did was increased the size of this, and it was still hanging on to the edges. So let's try the bevel again. I see nothing. I see no change with this. And whatever that is, it's not working. I see zero change with that. I think I see what's going on here. Nope, still nothing. What is that supposed to do? It is doing nothing. No idea what that's supposed to do. Discard changes. All right, well, nothing I do seems to be working, so we're just going to put some text on it. I can't use a border on an audiobook anyway, and it'll eventually be an audiobook, so. What color do we want? Let's try bright yellow. And let's see. All right, so I have the draft of the Horror of Tazumari Greed Statue up. So I copied that because I don't want to misspell it, and I know it's spelled correctly in my draft. So it's the Horror of the Tazumari Greed Statue. And we're going to put a shadow on it. We're not going to do black. We're going to do a different color of yellow. What is going on? I would like a dark color of yellow. Probably about like that. Alright, so, oh, well, that's the problem. Like, why am I not seeing it? This needs to come down. What does that do? Interesting. Okay, I think that is perfect. We're going to merge visible layers. And this is the thing, when you do your text on a separate canvas, finish it. Because once you start moving this around, you won't be able to put a like a drop shadow on it, because it will drop shadow the whole thing. Then I come over here and I get my rectangle select and I start cutting pieces of this out. And this is really the real test, because this can tell you how it's going to look. And you just paste it over here. It's going to paste it in the center all day long. And you kind of want it like that. And I'm going to get the rotate tool. If you ever wondered how people do that funky text that does all kinds of things, this is how. rotate, back to select. You want to put it right there. The. Kind of a funky way to do it. Horror. And I actually just figured this out. If you slightly mess up what you're doing, you can actually adjust with these squares. Dude, it only took me 10 years to figure that out. Take that out. And we'll select this, paste. It always pastes in the middle. We want his eyes visible, so where do we want the horror? And we want to make this bigger, so we'll go to layer, and it's in inches. If you start off in inches, it will be in inches. We'll try 3. Scale layer. I'm going to try 3.5. That's about right. So we got the horror. Just put that right there. And we want to get of the. And we'll grab that and paste it over here. Right here. Of the. And I think that's about perfect. All right, back down 25%. Paste it. Tazumari, and we'll just put it right there. We'll make it big. Make it 4.5. We're going to make it a little bigger. There we go. Horror of the Tazumari. And we'll make this bigger. 5. There it is. All right, that is much better than what I came up with last night. Whoops. Not gonna do it, is it? I'm gonna get rid of that. And I still need to put my name on the cover. Read this. I want to go with probably a red. No, it should be this green. Well, that's irritating. Cancel. Nah, it's not going to let me do it. This is supposed to be a color picker right here, and it's not doing it. So we're going to get as close as we can get. Sometimes it'll pick the color and sometimes it won't, and I don't know what's what about that. GIMP's got a long learning curve. We want this to be a little bit brighter. We want it to be just a little bit brighter. Oh, quit it. GIMP also doesn't get off the thing that you're doing when you're done with it. It like keeps thinking you want it. It can be a little frustrating to use. I need to shrink this. 4 probably just needs to be 3.5. maybe not. Let's do 4. All right, I think that's right. You cannot put things all the way to the edge because the print version will cut off a lot of this. Copy. Paste. And this always goes right like that, so I need to shrink my layer. See if taking it down a whole inch does anything. Nope, we need to make it just a little smaller. Either that or I have to move it over. That doesn't look too bad. Yeah, that's all right. Okay. I think that's it, folks. I think that is the cover. I like that a lot. All right, so I'm going to save this and we're done. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe, and I will bring another interesting video to you later.